Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Bodyswaps and Friends. Today, we're going to talk about how to leverage virtual reality and artificial intelligence to develop employability skills. I'm your host, Christophe Mallet. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bodyswaps, but more on that in a minute. Today, I'm joined by two trailblazers, Cindy and Nadima from Regina Work Prep. Rather than being evangelists, Cindy and Nida are really people who have leveraged the technology to improve people's life, one VR session at a time. So I'll start with quick intro. Cindy is the lead group facilitator at Regina. She brings 20 years of expertise in career development, specializing in program and curriculum design to empower clients in employment readiness. Cindy runs thousands of workshops, employment pathways, and INNM Plus programs, driving client success through tailored guidance. And Nadima is the team lead for the VR project at Work Prep, where she collaborates with two VR marketers delivering immersive tech to guide job seekers towards their career goals. She also cultivates partnerships and ensures the innovative delivery of that program. So that's the three of us today. But before we start, to get you a little bit warmed up, we have a couple of quick questions. So if you go on menti.com on your phone or your laptop, make sure to open a new tab. If you go on menti.com and enter this code, you will be able to see the first question. And so the first question is about where you are on your journey. If we can go to the next question. Brilliant. So the first question is quite simply, how familiar are you with using immersive learning technologies for employability skills training today in your institution? You already have a XR AI program embedded, all good. You're just experimenting. You are at a curiosity stage, or you are completely new to this. So we're going to leave a few seconds, and it will be interesting, Nadima and Cindy, when we chat later, to understand that people are at different stage of the journey, and maybe we have different types of advice for different people at different stages. So let's give it 10 more seconds. In the meantime, I'm saying hello to a bunch of people on the chat. So if you're watching that on YouTube, you can leave some comments directly on there. We might have a few minutes to take some questions at the end. All right, so let's stop on that one. What we see is the majority are experimenting, but it's quite stretched in between. So we have people pretty much everywhere. Let's move on to the second question. When it comes to employability skills, what aspects do you find the most difficult to deliver with impact when you're dealing with the individuals that you are helping? Is it communication and teamwork skills, job interviews specifically, things related to confidence and personal development, technical skills, or something else that we forgot to put on that list? So the idea here, I believe, is to rank those criteria in terms of which ones you feel are the most difficult. I can see that some people have started ranking them. All right, here we go. It feels like commenting like a horse racing and seeing who's gonna win that one. Okay, so far the list seem quite accurate. Interesting to see that job interview is only coming third, contrary to what most people might believe. But maybe I spoke too fast. Let's give it a few more seconds. Technical skills making a comeback now. Hello to Dan, Kirsten, and Tom on the chat. Very nice to have you here. All right, I'm going to have to call the end of that race because that results is very good for what I'm going to say next, which is that it's all about confidence. How do you build the confidence of the people you are looking to help today? So let's go to VR and AI. On the left here, you have the cover of, not a cover, but an article in the FT in 2019, Can VR Inject More Life into Workplace Training? On the right, a cover from a few months ago, Will AI Revolutionize Education for the Better? And depending on the media, you check the podcast, you listen to, AI or VR are either going to save the world or destroy the world, right? It's either going to make us perfect, savant, kind human beings, or we're going to be puppeteered by technology into World War III. The reality is that XR and AI is a multifaceted reality. There are hundreds of use cases out there, some good, some bad. And also, frankly, no one can really predict the future with those technologies. And so what we're going to do today is not talk about the future of AI and VR, is to deep dive into a single organization story and look at the good, the bad, and the could be a bit better of that particular story. And to really understand what you can do today, depending on where you are on your journey. But before we start, I want to give you a 30 seconds intro to Bodyswaps, just so what Nadima and Cindy are going to talk about makes sense. Bodyswaps works like a flight simulator for soft skills. So instead of landing a plane, you're landing a job. Instead of like handling a storm, you're handling a difficult conversation with a colleague. What it means is for the learners, you have access to immersive simulations where you're going to practice in your own voice with virtual humans and get personalized feedback. On the educator side, you're going to get a portal to deploy the simulations, create classes, and also track success. That's all you need to know about Bodyswaps for now. But what it's all about today, it's not about technology. So I wanted to read you a quick message I received from someone in the customer success team at Bodyswaps the other day. That's from Emily here in the UK. We had a call with Paige from Malton College this morning, and she explained how Bodyswaps has been great for the career department. A student recently came in, completed the job interview simulator, and felt a bit concerned as she realized she needed to be more prepared. She completed more Bodyswaps modules and worked with Paige. She did the simulator again, felt a lot more confident, and got the job. So what's interesting here is in this short sentence is there's actually four elements. The first one is, well, she got the job, right? So that at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about the impact. But there's a word here that comes in early is she realized that she wasn't ready. And I think that self-awareness element is very important. The second element is that she worked with Paige. She didn't work at home alone. This did not replace the advisor. It was a tool to help her be more prepared to then work with the advisor. And finally, it's about the confidence, which relates to what you just said in the little poll. She built up a confidence to go there and get the job. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And without further ado, Cindy, Nadima, if you want to take the stage.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us here today. Welcome, everyone. We are coming to you from the Regina Work Preparation Center, and we are here to talk to you today about, as Christophe said, leveraging VR and AI technology with employability services. So, we here at Work Prep serve Regina, Saskatchewan and area. We come to you from Treaty 4 territory, and we acknowledge the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples who have been our ancestors and have walked this land in this series of time, and we are grateful to be part of these traditional lands. As a pre-employment agency, we work with job seekers to help them reach their employment goals. Every day, we do our best to meet the changing labor market and the needs of job seekers according to the local economy and the community. We do not have a typical client, so if anyone needs help with job searching, we are available for them, and we have over 50 years of expertise in doing so. I will now turn it over to my co-presenter, Nadima.
Thanks, Cindy, and thanks to the Bodyswaps team for having us. So how does a little nonprofit in Saskatchewan get started with VR? It seems like very cutting edge technology, right? For us, luckily, our team attended a conference, I believe this was in 2020, where they discovered Career Labs VR. So this is a career exploration simulations in VR. That was our first dive into VR. Fast forward to January 2020, and we got funding from the Saskatchewan Ministry of Immigration and Career Training to do a pilot project to actually take these career simulations and get job seekers in them and see if this helped them with making better career decisions. So with that pilot project, we got our first VR kit, which was the laptop and 2 headsets, and the team was ready to go. Even though COVID hit, they were able to get job seekers through sessions and managed to achieve some great results. At that time, Work Prep was the only agency in our province that was offering this service. Now, there are over 30 agencies that are also offering Career Labs VR. We all fall under that ministry umbrella, and our team is unofficially sort of the hub of VR in the province, and we're really lucky to be in that position. So what else does VR look like here at Work Prep? So as I mentioned, we have those immersive career exploration sessions. Clients come in and experience a career firsthand. So we have a library of 30 different careers that they can try. Typically, they try 1 per session, depending on how long a client can go. The VR marketers then offer comprehensive labor market information. So a client gets job prospects, wages, specific job requirements, and that empowers them then to make well-informed career decisions. Our favorite sessions are when a client comes in and maybe picks a simulation that has nothing to do with what they've ever done or are even interested in, and they're surprised by their skills, or they're able to identify that they have some really valuable transferable skills. We've also recently made connections with another local nonprofit here in Regina called Tech Career Bridge, and we're lucky to be testing out their AI-powered career exploration tool, which helps clients to assess available positions here in the job market that they're eligible for based on a questionnaire and a review of their resume. The tool can also then create an action plan for them, so it identifies their top skills and then identifies any gaps as well that they need to fill. So maybe they need a little bit more training in certain areas. That tool will point that out. So we're excited to be always collaborating with other agencies and testing out new things. So Cindy has jumped forward to our next slide, which is what we are working on currently, which is our MySask VR and MySask VR2. So again, we are so lucky to have this investment from the government, because nonprofits typically don't just have funds to throw around to play with new technology. So with that government funding, our first project was MySask VR, where we collaborated with a local agency, Melcher Studios, to build 6 simulations, career simulations here in Saskatchewan that align with our labor market. And MySask VR2 is us now working with the team at Melcher to build our own launcher, so our library of simulations, and also a Facilitator tool to make it easier for practitioners to actually run clients through sessions. So our goals with MySask VR and MySask VR2 are to revolutionize employment services here in Saskatchewan and actually build immersive simulations tailored to meet the specific demands for the Saskatchewan labor market. Cindy, I'm ready for the next slide. So Bodyswaps, how did we get here? A few years ago, I believe it was once we were really rolling with Career Labs, our team was curious to see what else we could do with VR to support job seekers, and in came Bodyswaps. The team was able to make contact with Bodyswaps, and we were really lucky to get some free licenses so we could run a pilot project with job seekers. And after the pilot, we were able to secure government funding to deliver Bodyswaps to a set number of clients in each contract year. So this is something that we do regularly now. So a typical Bodyswap session, what it looks like. The first thing that we really work hard to do is to prepare our clients before they even jump into the headset, because everyone's at a different comfort level. Sometimes clients don't even want to get into the headset, and that's fine. We can also run Bodyswaps on a desktop or a laptop. So we explain to clients what they're going to expect to see. We review consent forms, and then we outline the steps to take if they feel uncomfortable. So take the headset off, take breaks if they need to. We also go over the controls, but Bodyswaps is very user-friendly, which is nice for clients. And the big one, especially for a lot of clients today, is that we're reassuring them that what they're saying in the sessions is not recorded. It remains private. It's inaccessible to us. The goal is that we want them to have a smooth and supportive experience. We also leave clients in the room, and then we close the door once they're fully set up so that they know that they are in a session alone. We found that's better for them. Then we jump in because we are able to track where a client is in the simulation, so we can see when they're done a module, and we'll jump in to the room and do a debrief with them, check how everything's going, and then let them finish. And at the close of the session, that's when we make sure that they know that they now have access to the platform for the next year, and we show them how to set it up on their phone or laptop. Specifically when it comes to like the job interview simulator, if someone has another job interview and they want to practice and they're not able to get in to see us, they can do it at home. And we're seeing a lot of success with that because we're able to see that clients are signing in outside of our work hours or signing in on different devices. Okay, and now I'm going to hand over to Cindy to talk more about what our program delivery looks like in group sessions.
Thank you. As the lead facilitator of facilitated learning in Regina Work Prep, I will not teach interview skills without Bodyswaps anymore. And the reason for that is it ties together what we talk about in the classroom and then puts it into action when they get into the headset. So before a client gets into the headset, we do a number of group exercises specifically around the question of tell me about yourself. So a lot of our job seekers, when you first ask them to tell me about yourself, they get off on the wrong foot and they start talking about their age, their family status, which we all know is stuff that employers don't really need to know. So with that, we then break it up into using as much information as we can to show them what a elevator pitch, as we call it, which is 60 seconds to sell yourself to the employer under the question of tell me about yourself. We actually model for them what that looks like. And LinkedIn Learning has an amazing resource by Tatiana Kolovu, which is an actual course on what needs to go into an elevator pitch, what makes an elevator pitch successful. And throughout that course, the participants of the classroom that I am in can actually differentiate between a good selling yourself elevator pitch to tell me about yourself and a not so good one. We also talk about building story banks. So for those of you that are familiar with Bodyswaps, Bodyswaps talks a lot about what a story bank is. I take it one step further and I give the participants actual questions around what is the employer looking for when they want a story told, specifically when the question is, tell me about a time that a particular situation happens. So I actually get them to practice before they go into the headset. What successes have you had? What things have you achieved? Things like that, so that the image that we leave participants with is they're leaving the employer with a picture of them actually doing that job successfully in the interview. So I always say, if an employer can close their eyes and picture you doing your job through your story, you've done it effectively. And I will now turn it over to Najima.
Thanks, Cindy. So a little bit of stats. Our contract year starts in February, and since February, we've run over 400 body swap sessions and then over 160 career exploration sessions. Some clients have done both, some have just done one. Again, as we mentioned earlier, we don't have a typical client. So these are clients aged 16 to 60 plus. Our most used modules are the employability modules. So this focuses on managing interview anxiety, understanding non-negotiables, using that CAR or STAR technique to answer interview questions. And then the favorite one that clients love is the actual job interview simulator, which is AI empowered. So clients can actually interview for a specific role, and they love that. As you can see, 84% of clients would recommend it to peers, and 86% have increased their self-awareness and also an understanding, which kind of goes back to the mentee earlier. So it's nice that everything just lines up here. The other thing that Bodyswaps does as well is it also allows users to complete a short self-assessment after each module. So depending on the topics they've chosen, there'll be specific questions. But what we are seeing across the board is that clients are increasing in confidence in ways that we could have done traditionally, but will we have seen this happen as fast? I don't know. So we're always happy to get results for our clients. So our hopes for the future. If we could create a wish list of where we'd love to go with our use of VR and AI here at Work Prep with job seekers, would, I guess, first of all, be extending what we do to get results for our clients. At the end of the day, we want to get more people hired and we want to get them work ready. So the first thing we'd love to do is integrate Bodyswaps with our MySask VR tool. So for example, let's say a client does the front desk simulation and we're able to see where their gaps are, then we could offer them specific Bodyswaps modules that are focused on customer service to further enhance their skills. So that way they can continue to build on what they've learned and be even better prepared for real world interactions. The next thing would be personalized journals. So for those who are familiar with Bodyswaps, every time you finish a module, you get a journal, but it's not personalized to you. The journals are great, but I know Cindy can speak to that too. The clients don't always access them. But having a personalized journal, I think, would help users to track their progress, help us as practitioners to create action plans. And it would also be interesting to see if there could be an ability to integrate like difficulty levels in Bodyswaps. So for example, if you were doing challenging conversations, creating more heated situations to kind of push a person to see if they're improving, if they can handle themselves, if they can take the steps that they've learned and actually see improvement in those situations. And then Cindy's going to share a little bit more on another area that she's noticed, which would be something for those who have English as an additional language as well.
So what I would love to see in the personalized journals is right now Bodyswaps does a great job of giving the ideal answer for a question if someone is struggling. And with English as your native language, that works out really well. But what I'm noticing is for other individuals, what happens is they don't understand the difference between what they gave as an answer and what is being offered. So a personalized journal would allow them to see what the English language means in their answer and why they would need to improve it. Pardon me. In terms of the elevator pitches, we would like to see that integrated as part of the actual Bodyswaps before they start interview preparation. Because, as I mentioned earlier, when you're asked, tell me about yourself, a lot of people don't know the core entities or competencies that an employer is looking for in this question. So they actually end up putting in information that they don't have to according to our human rights code. So we would like to see elevator pitches integrated into Bodyswaps.
Thanks, Cindy. All right, that's everything from us. Thank you for having us. Cindy, did you have a last comment? Sorry.
I would just like to mention that if anyone does want to reach us, we are both on LinkedIn. So if you want to reach us through there or through the Regina Work Preparation Center, you're more than welcome to do so, and we would be more than happy to have a conversation with you.
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot for this presentation. Definitely a lot of food for thought for our teams as well to improve Bodyswaps. So thanks for the feedback. I can imagine that, and you've been working with Bodyswaps for over 3 years now. I can imagine that it hasn't always been easy to build up the case for Bodyswaps internally. So for the benefit of the audience, what kind of pushback did you face, and how did you overcome that pushback?
Well, we did receive some pushback, and as a case manager, I will be honest and tell you that I was one of the pushback people when this first came on board, because I kept thinking I'm not going to have a job anymore. I kept thinking that Bodyswaps was going to replace in a large component what I do. But as I mentioned in the presentation, it in fact enhances what I do. It used to take me a week of group learning to teach interview skills, and I now can do it in 2 to 3 days. So I think the pushback is normal when something is new, but if you can convince people to just try it and just think about how they can use it for their own client bases, that would be great. And along with that, it's very important for career practitioners to go through the system on their own before they recommend it to clients, so that you can follow up appropriately with appropriate conversations thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. That's brilliant. And I have one last question for you both, which is, to conclude, do you have, well, two things actually, two questions in one. One, do you have any individual success story that you would like to share? Any anecdotes to celebrate? And last words from you is, what would be your advice to people or institutions who are more at the beginning of their journey?
Well, I'll take the first part of the question, and then I'll hand it over to Nida.
Okay.
We do have numerous success stories, but probably the most recent one is we had an individual come in who was one of my clients, needed to do some quick career exploration, really wasn't sure what he wanted to do, and he asked if he could try the plumbing simulation. He'd read about it. He thought, given his skills, that was something he would want to try. So he went through the simulation, and then through that experience, he applied for tradesmanship and to go to school for that trade. And in order to get into the schooling, he had to do an interview. And he is not from Canada. And so we put him through interview processes through Bodyswaps first. And he indicated that when he got to the interview, he knew exactly what the answers were. He was prepared. And he's actually in school at this point, doing very, very well for the trade.
Thanks, Cindy. And I think to answer the end of the question, we hope that this conversation has just sparked some curiosity about using VR and AI. The biggest thing, just try it. Don't be scared. I am not a tech person. I've only been with the team a year, and as soon as they told me about Bodyswaps, I was really curious, and I jumped in. I wasn't sure. I don't enjoy it as much in the headset, but I love that I can do it on the desktop. So there is options. Like if you're just not sure about being in a headset, that's fine. But honestly, just try it because I think you'll be surprised at what you can do for your clients.
Brilliant. So thanks a lot, Nida. And I'll bring back a one last slide, just as a kind of a word from our sponsors, so to speak. So if you give me a split second, as it appears that the slides are here. So special gift from our sponsor. We are the sponsor, so that's quite easy for us to do. We are giving everyone who's watching this right now live, but also in the future, a 1 month free license to our career coach approach. So it's a bunch of modules: job interview, public speaking, teamwork, presentation, growth mindset, and you can try it out with as many people as you want for a month. And then if you like what you see, well, then you can call us or send us an email at one of those 2 emails on that slide. Lastly, I want to thank Cindy and Nadima. You're doing amazing work. You're truly helping your clients, and your clients are among those who need it the most. And it's fantastic to see technology being used with underserved population, and not just the ones that have access to it more easily. I want to remind everyone that it's what it took for Cindy and Nadima to have as much impact is not prior, in-depth knowledge of the technology, because I don't think it was the case. And you shared, Cindy, that you were actually quite on the fence at the beginning. It's a commitment to helping your clients and commitment to your mission. It's a spark of curiosity and just an appetite for learning new tricks. So if you recognize yourself in that portrait, well, you know where to start. So thanks everyone for your time. Nadima, Cindy, thanks a lot. It's been amazing, and see you at the next episode.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.